Hello everyone, I am the Non-Brony Pony, and I review animated movies or TV series. With that said, let's get started. When talking about Walt Disney and the great legacy that he left on the world, which film do you think was his best? For most people, they would say Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs or Pinocchio. Well, not me. Despite them being good films and all, I personally think one of his best films is one of his most underrated. The film is Alice in Wonderland. Released in 1951, it didn't really make a lot of money, especially after Disney's ultimate return to success, Cinderella. In fact, even Disney himself wasn't happy about it. However, over the years, the film managed to get a huge following and has since then became a classic. But how does the film really hold up? Well, let's talk about the story first. One criticism people have with this movie is that there's no story. It's just Alice trying to follow the White Rabbit, meets a bunch of strange characters, and then wants to go home. But in my opinion, the film still works. Mostly because the world is already made up of things that don't make sense. You're just so amazed by how strange this world works, you're wondering what Alice is going to run into next. And this film brings us a lot of bizarre and wacky things that only Disney could bring us. Another criticism people have with this film is that it doesn't follow closely to the original book. Well, one of my favorite reviewers, The Fiery Joder, said this: "If changes are to be made, make changes. The original isn't always the superior version." I actually think there is some truth to that. And what I love about Disney is that while it adapts famous stories, it still makes it their own thing, like not including all the same dialogue word for word, like most adaptations do, in order to stand out more and make it more for the whole family. And for adapting the story, Disney still did a really good job by capturing the most important parts of the original book, and even adding some of their old things like they always do. The animation is definitely something I need to talk about, because when talking about animation from Disney's old days, this is one of their best. The animators do a really good job of bringing Wonderland to the screen and bringing all the insane craziness that inhabits it. From the backgrounds to the character animation, everything just pops here and is always amazing to look at. I especially love the marching card scene. This is way back before CGI was even invented, and the fact that all this was hand-drawn makes this even more fascinating to watch. The characters are what everybody remembers in this film. I feel I should talk about the main character first. Alice is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated leads in a Disney film. Walt Disney himself wasn't pleased with Alice because he didn't think she had heart. Sorry Walt, I gotta disagree here. I love Alice. The reason I love her is because the audience can relate to her. She is our guide to all the weird stuff in Wonderland, and she's the only real character here. And I think she is very likable and fun to watch. Alice is very kind and innocent, but she does lose her temper at the most understandable points. And when Alice breaks down sobbing, ashamed in herself that she might never learn from her mistakes, it's just heartbreaking to watch. So, I still think Alice is enjoyable. When talking about the characters in Wonderland, everybody has a favorite like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, the White Rabbit, and the Queen of Hearts. But I think my absolute favorite character is the Cheshire Cat. I think the reason why I like him so much is because, when you really think about it, he's the most insane character in the film. And you might be thinking, but what about the Mad Hatter, or the March Hare, or the Queen? They all acted bonkers 24/7. That is true, but the reason I think the Cheshire Cat is the most insane is because he knows it, as well as he knows everyone else is insane. He knows everybody is mad, yet he goes along with that. And it helps more with the voice that they gave him.
Oh, you can't help that. Most everyone's mad here. You may have noticed that I'm not all there myself.
By the way, do you know that's Winnie the Pooh voicing him?
If you'd really like to know, he went that way. Oh, yes, I'm rumbly in my tumbly. Time for something sweet.
And I think what adds more with Sterling Holloway's performance is that the way he talks about Wonderland is very unsettling. While Wonderland does look nice and friendly, he makes it look like there's a dark side to this place that makes you want to get out and fast.
That's because you have no way. Always here, you see, are the Queen's way. She'll be mad about you. Simply mad.
The way he gets more and more disturbing and how uncomfortable this place may be, it makes you want to get out quickly before you lose your head. Literally.
Ah! What's their lose their heads for painting the roses red. It serves them right, they clad in white, and roses should be red. Oh, they're going to lose their heads.
Well, that's all I've got for right now. What else can I say about this film? The story, even if it doesn't have any, is still well told and entertaining. The animation is amazing looking, and the characters are all fun and very funny, and sometimes very intimidating. Well, what else can I say but go check it out for yourselves, and I'm out, like a Cheshire Cat.